Hook it and cook it. From the catch to the kitchen, it's your front row seat to learn mouth-watering new ways to fix seafood. It's time for Hook It and Cook It.
Welcome to Hook It and Cook It. I'm your host, Frank Willem. Today we're making crawfish boudin balls and a great scallop dish. Chef David Dickensauge from Corks and Cleaver in Gulfport, Mississippi joins us now with tips on how to make it.
Well, I like crawfish and I like boudin, but I understand we're going to combine them together. Tell us about it. What's actually in boudin?
So boudin is it's a loose cased ground rice and pork sausage.
Oh, okay.
And so what we're going to do is take the boudin, strip it away from the casing, chop the only Louisiana crawfish tail meat, wild only.
None of the import Chinese?
None of the import stuff. And then we're going to take our andouille sausage, and we're going to actually add that also. I like to do that because it kind of gives a little smoky flavor.
Yeah, a little depth.
And so also we have a couple of other components that we have. We have a dirty rice, which we use, that's beautiful, with a little foie gras, which is duck liver, duck pieces in there, and we make a dirty rice giblet gravy almost inside of the dirty rice. Fermented pickled greens, and those are local greens, and then we have a gumbo type of consomme. So what we're going to do is, and we'll talk more about that, and so what I do is I take, you can go to Rouse's, you can go to anywhere you want to and get the boudin, and I strip away that casing and I add it into a bowl, mixing bowl. What I like to do is just kind of work my hands in there. You'll be assembling the balls, but this is kind of the stuffing that we make. And so what we do is we ground that up. I like to take my sausage, cut it, and then throw that in the bowl. And then if you want to just take your fork right there and go ahead and stir your rice up. We don't want to let that stick while I'm cutting this up. And then of course just take your crawfish and dice that up really nice. Just this beautiful rich crawfish, you can smell it, just smells awesome. And then I always mix it up really good. And then we take this right here and we take it through a food processor, like a house food processor, and we buzz it till all of it kind of comes together. And what happens is you'll get the component that kind of looks kind of like a sausage patty type of mix, and then we'll work on that here in a minute. But on this dirty rice, I'm going to stir this a little bit. What I do is I'm going to take a little bit of this gumbo consomme. This might be something that it's pretty difficult to make at home. Any kind of ham stock, anything you want to reduce down, add a little cream. Same thing, same flavor profile. And let me check my greens here. See how that is. Oh yeah, you can smell those greens. Just look how nice and tender those leaves are.
Yeah.
So yeah, you probably want to use fresh.
Yeah,
I would say.
If you possibly can.
If you possibly can. So that's what we got right here. And then one of the other components that we add is this really cool little stuff. It's duck fat mayonnaise, or aioli, where we just take the duck fat and we make a mayonnaise out of it. And we put that on top of the boudin when we plate it.
So I'm guessing you can't go to the local grocery store and buy that most likely.
No, I guess you're just going to use Dukes or Hellman's at that point in time. So just jazz it up, maybe add a little sriracha, maybe add a little Tabasco sauce, maybe a little blackening seasoning, some chives, just something to kind of doll it up. It's more of a garnish. Doesn't really play too much. More of a play on words. It's kind of. I'm at a restaurant, so I gotta make people laugh. So that's kind of where we are right there. So we'll get ready to start making the balls here in just a minute.
We've got all the ingredients mixed, and when we come back, we're making crawfish boudin balls and later, a mouth-watering scallop dish.
What I do with my scallop is I season one side and put it in, then season on top.
Ah, okay.
So what I want to do is just take that, because I want to press it down and make sure it's got a good connection to the pan.
Welcome back to Hook It and Cook It. We're at the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center with Chef David. Let's get to making those crawfish boudin balls.
Okay, so I guess now we're actually ready to make the boudin balls?
Yeah, this is where I actually get to put you to work because I'm tired of my hands being dirty. So what you want to do is grab a good amount there you go, and kind of roll it into that ball.
Okay.
But you can feel it's tender, but it's still pliable where it feels like a meatball. You can see the rice kind of in there, and what you've done is you've coagulated all the meats together, and you've basically made a force meat. You made basically crawfish meat bind into boudin meat. And so now what you're going to do is drop it into the little heavy cream mix there. And don't be afraid. And that's just just regular old breadcrumbs, croutons. You can do whatever you got at the house. Anything old, run it through a RoboCoupe, or just go to any local grocery store.
Like that?
There you go.
Just drop it in here?
Yeah. All right.
I can
Let's get you a few more going. While you're doing that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and start getting ready to get the plate ready. Okay. As we would say, we're about to go to plate at the restaurant.
Okay.
And this is our starter, so what I'm going to do is this dirty rice is kind of just looking nice and beautiful. What's happened now is we've cooked all the liquid out of the rice, so you can see it's actually kind of almost jambalaya-ish.
Yeah.
And so that's dirty rice. The reason it's dirty rice is because it has the giblets.
Okay.
We use the duck liver, all those livers, and we kind of cook that down. It's made this really, really luscious, beautiful rice here. And so that's getting pretty close. How's your ball? How are they feeling?
Feeling
good?
Yeah,
Okay.
feeling good.
Awesome. So let's do me a favor, just kind of let's lift up on that. Let's see how they're holding up. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Man, you've done this before, man. That's not fair.
I'm a professional.
I see that. I gotta worry. Whatever you do, I gotta learn how to do that better. Watch out, because your grease is gonna pop. What's happening is it has rice in it, so that's what's popping out.
Moisture,
Yeah, basically you're making popcorn. So I got my greens over here. They're nice and warm. And then we have our gumbo consomme, and that's that. Like I said, if you can't make gumbo consomme, I don't expect you to be able to. Just get some good ham stock of some kind, reduce it down, maybe a little brown sugar, cook it down, add a little knob of butter and some heavy cream, and you can make any type of brown or gravy that you want to at the bottom of the plate. Like I say, that's just an additive for the plate.
Could you use like a roux?
You can definitely use a roux. You can definitely use a roux. If you know how to make a roux now. Some people don't know how to make a roux.
It's equal parts flour and fat, isn't it?
Yeah, and lots of time and 1 or 2 beers is what they say. Hey, I didn't write the rules. So how are we looking? Okay, cool. We got them going on.
All right.
Let's drop one more.
Okay.
So we got this nice and hot. I feel like we're getting close. I feel like those boudin balls probably got another about a minute and a half or so before they'll be ready. So you drop those down. At the restaurant, what I like to do, and while you're doing that, I was trying to play around, have a good little bit of fun right here. So what I take is the gumbo consomme, and I just do a cool little thing I do. It's called a spoon drag. Yeah, let's just scoot over. Let's borrow some room, some real estate, and I'll drop that down like that, and I just do a nice little spoon drag. If you do this, you'll look like a professional chef. drop your liquid down, take your spoon, and just drag
Break it, huh? Okay.
That's it. It's called a spoon drag. Any 5-star chef, that's their go-to. That's what we do. Then,
I really feel like a pro now.
and then we're gonna take our dirty rice right here. Gonna put that dirty rice kind of right there in the nice little bed of that.
You've done this before.
Oh, once or twice a day. And then take my greens and I just kind of put that on there. And so we'll add that. And then I like to take the duck fat. Ooh. Oh, that didn't come out as good as I wanted it to, but we'll clean that up.
Fix that.
Fix it. And then
I think I'm rubbing off on you now. That's the sort of thing I do.
we'll add that. All right, and then we'll check on our boudin balls. Oh, I feel those are ready. As you're getting that bowl, I'm gonna just check on them and make sure they're still good to go. And we'll take them out.
We're done with the boudin balls, and when we come back, we'll learn how to make delicious scallops.
And then I'll take my seasoning once again, my magic seasoning.
Magic seasoning, yeah.
I would say bam, but I might get in trouble, so we'll go boom. There you go.
Let's get back in the kitchen with Chef David Dickensauge from Corks and Cleaver for tips on how to cook scallops.
Well, next on the agenda, you've got some gorgeous looking scallops there. How are we going to go about cooking those?
Yeah, well, I know we decided to do a little something that's not traditionally found, I guess, in our local waters, but just a very simple dish that I really like to do. Well, it's not simple, but it's a good dish. Scallops are something that you really need to know how to cook. I mean, scallops are very finicky, so in order to cook a scallop very correctly, you need, of course, we talked about before, is a very hot pan, and allowing that scallop to actually cook majority on one side to allow the sugars to break on the scallop. And then what we're going to do is a wilted spinach ragu, which is going to have oven roasted garlic with shallots, dried fermented mushrooms, and then the ricotta cheese gnocchis that we'll put in kind of at the end as we kind of bring it all together, and then make a truffle which we won't make here, but a truffle puree, which you can use creamed mushroom stock with a puree some mushrooms and kind of add that, but we'll add that onto the recipe.
Okay.
One of the things that I'm gonna do is go ahead and get ready to get my scallops rolling. So what we're gonna do is get our pan, of course, like I said, always nice and hot.
Again, cottonseed oil, you said?
Cottonseed oil, always cottonseed oil. I mean, if you don't have to use that, grapeseed oil is another good one to use. Great high smoke point. And like I said, we want to always make sure that the oil is away from us. And I always take what I do with my scallop is I season one side and put it in, then season on top.
Ah, okay.
So what I want to do is just take that, because I want to press it down and make sure it's got a good connection to the pan. And if you have seasoning, you're just going to take it all off. See how I press down on that?
Okay, you put it in the oil, I noticed there. And
Yeah. And then I'll take my seasoning once again, my magic seasoning.
the magic seasoning, yeah.
I would say bam, but I might get in trouble, so we'll go boom. There you go. And we're going to let that kind of start searing right there. And so I kind of turn that down. Once I get it nice and hot, I'll let the flame kind of go down the pan. That way I can kind of start to really get a good sear on it without being too hot. You want too hot burns. I'll let you kind of do this. We'll kind of work this together.
Okay.
Add your shallots and garlic. Just one spoon. Make sure you get it. There you go. Don't be afraid of it. There you go. We'll add a little bit of our cottonseed oil in there. And then I'll let you add, there we go. Let me cut a few of these Brussels sprouts for you.
Okay.
Kind of stir that around a little bit so it don't stick. There you go. Let you be
Okay.
add those in there. And see how hot your pan is?
Oh, yeah.
Nice and hot. There you go. We're gonna add a handful of winter green beans.
Okay, now those are just, have they been
Blanched them,
rolled? Okay,
yeah.
you blanch them, okay.
Which means to bring a pot of oil to boil and drop them in, and then shock them into like a water bath of some kind.
Okay.
I'm gonna check my scallops. Those are still going, as you can see. Kind of getting there. You see how I'm kind of pulling away, letting the scallop let me know if it's ready to go or not. That's how you want it to be. And then before we put our gnocchis, I'm gonna throw a couple of these small little fingerling potatoes in there. Stir that around for me.
Okay.
And then we'll get a good, generous thing of seasoning in there. I'm gonna scoop. Once again, as you notice, we've been cooking just a little bit of butter. There you go. All right. Now then shake your pan. Now grab your spinach there. Throw it on in there.
Just a handful?
Oh yeah, throw it all in there. Don't be afraid. If it's gonna break, it's not a lot anyway. It just looks like a lot.
That spinach looks great. I mean, that's as good as I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, that's some beautiful, that's called winter root spinach. So it's God made it to make it through the winter.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna let you add a little bit of your wine there.
Alrighty.
Don't drink none. Got my eyes on you. And what that's gonna do really is, more than anything, a little bit more, is what you're doing at this point is, believe it or not, you're using it more, not for the flavor, but you're bringing in steam. So that's now wilting your spinach. Got my eyes on you, Minnie.
Okay.
See how that's cooking down?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more oil, seasoning, and then go ahead and get you a big old chunk of those mushrooms. Don't be afraid of it.
Now, these are dried mushrooms,
Yes,
right?
there you go.
Is that enough?
A little bit more.
Okay.
That's good right there. Now go ahead and mix that up.
Okay.
I'll let you mix that.
Okay.
I'm gonna check my scallops.
Well, you're right. That spinach reduced way down, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
So the mushrooms take the moisture out of the spinach and what have you.
Yes, it's gonna take the moisture from the spinach and it's gonna rehydrate the mushrooms. Go ahead and add you a little bit more white wine. There you go. And then we're gonna add just a little stick of butter.
Yeah, that looks great.
I said, now notice how what I did to my scallops is I turned the pan off and I'm doing my scallops is I want to check it. See that right there?
Uh-huh.
Those are almost perfect. So what you want is like, when you touch a steak, you want, just like a steak, you want it to bounce back. That's about mid-rare to medium on the scallop, which is about perfect. So I'm going to remove that one scallop and put it right there. That one's ready to go too.
Well, it's like a lot of seafood. You don't want to overcook that.
Oh no! I mean, it's diver scallop, so it'd be like taking a Kobe piece of steak and cooking it well done.
Right.
We're gonna pull those out. We're gonna let those rest. We'll move that to the side. These are our ricotta gnocchis. So gnocchis are dumplings that are made from potatoes.
Okay.
And so we made basically a pasta. We rolled it on a board, and it's actually filled with ricotta cheese.
Oh, all right.
When we come back, it's taste time for the crawfish boudin balls and the seared scallops.
Dig on in, man. Tell me what you
Try
think.
boudin balls here first.
Yeah, you made them, so.
Well, I proved, I think, that I'm not a professional at that part, but I'm a professional at this part.
Well, check it out. Got that little kick in the back end. I mean, definitely gives you what you think you're gonna eat. You know you're gonna dig into something that's got some spice.
Welcome back to Hook It and Cook It. Everything's plated up and ready to taste. It's a work of culinary art. Let's try it out.
It looks like you've got us all ready to go here.
Yeah, so what we did is we started, of course, with the boudin balls, the crawfish boudin balls with the dirty rice and fermented greens and the gumbo consomme with the duck fat aioli. And then we finished off with your beautiful spinach ragu with the ricotta gnocchis and the truffle puree, which is just beautifully, I mean, those scallops are seared to the perfection. And there's a nice, lot of little winter flavors going on. Of course, we talked about the truffle puree, kind of giving that balance, bringing that earthiness to the plate with that sweet scallop. That's where we're at. So, man, you dig on in there and tell me what you think.
I hate to touch it. I mean, you created such a work of art here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. This is the type of food that we do at Corks and Cleaver. So this isn't just something that we do for TV. We focus. It's everything about the plate. So whether it be from the prep to the mise en place to the searing of the fish or whatever, it's all about the end result. From the beginning to the end, it all has to sing.
Has to work right.
It has to work right. Yeah. Dig on in, man. Tell me what you think.
Boudin balls here first.
Yeah, you made them, so.
Well, I proved, I think, that I'm not a professional at that part, but I'm a professional at this part.
Well, check it out. Got that little kick in the back end. I mean, definitely gives you what you think you're going to eat. You know you're going to dig into something that's got some spice. It's got some richness.
Got a little kick,
got a little kick, and it's got that meaty flavor. You know you're eating meat. I mean, there's no bread there. It's not like you're eating a bread cake. You're eating a sausage ball.
Exactly. Let me try a little bit of the color. Now you said they're fermented. Well,
fermented, we actually take the greens themselves and we pickle them like you would a pickle. And then once they've been pickled, we braise them like you normally would a collard green. So they have that really. They still have a lot of texture. They're not cooked, wilted down for hours and hours.
A little crunchy still, yeah.
Still got the crunch to it, got that bite, but it still has that sweet flavor you would get if you have a braised green.
It's very good. I get to try this one next. Huh?
There you go. Make sure you get in some of that scallop. There you go. And you get that earthiness from that puree, really brings it around. With that scallop is very sweet, has that really a lot of sugar involved in it, but it's very good, nice and tender, mid-rare.
It really is, and you can. I mean, really, scallops have a very delicate flavor, and I guess that's the idea, not overcooking them. Those are perfect.
Thank you. And then into the spinach that we had talked about that we had got from the chef's garden. You see all the other little components sitting there on the plate.
The spinach, I mean, didn't just look good; it is good.
Yeah, contains a lot of good nutrients for you, for sure. And the cool part is you notice when we cooked all these things that we weren't adding a lot of butter. We did corn at the end, kind of finishing with butter rather than adding, mounting, but just kind of gave it that silkiness that it kind of needed to kind of build that steam to finish it, to give it that little bit of flavor you need, but to still be able to taste it. You're not leaving your mouth not coated with a butter aftertaste.
So this kind of defies the normal thing that in order for it to really taste as good, it has to be bad for you. But like you said, you didn't use much butter, so it looks healthy and it tastes wonderful.
That's right.
Well, thanks, David, for so much for creating such a masterpiece. Enjoyed the whole thing working with you. You're obviously a professional. I think if this was martial arts, you'd be the black belt.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it joining, and I'll see you down at the Corks and Cleaver.
Thank you so much.
Next
Look
week.
forward to see you soon. Thank you, guys.
Well, you learned how to make crawfish boudin balls and a seared scallop dish from a master. My thanks to Chef David Dickensauge from Corks and Cleaver in Gulfport, Mississippi for his expertise. And remember, you can find the recipe on Facebook or our webpage. Join us next time for another delicious edition of Hook It and Cook It.